There's this really intense and deep understanding for many Indian people that we have to walk in two different worlds, and one of the worlds being where we come from, Indian country, whatever the case may be for that individual, if they're coming from the reservation or living in a city. And it's really difficult, especially today, because you have social media, you have your modern day technology, you have cameras, you have phones, you have all these different things, and it makes it really difficult as an individual who wants to maintain our old ways of living with hunting and gathering our first foods, but also conducting ourselves in such a way that still remains true to the practices that we've upheld for thousands of years. And then being mindful of how we're moving in this second world, which is huge, big city living, and understanding that some people aren't going to be accepting of how we live our lives and how we move and how we carry ourselves. And it's really interesting because I feel fairly comfortable moving between the two different worlds. I can be here at home and feel really like I have quite a bit of knowledge and understanding of who we are as Indian people. But as soon as I leave, I feel like it follows, and it's something that you carry within yourself. And I'm comfortable saying that when I go into a space, people feel it. Tats halap and MMIW kolatiwama in winakisha Kola Shippentower to token timti wash tamkaya nichyawe kanik paitsa. My name is Kola Shippentower. My Indian name is Tamkaya, and I come from Pendleton, Oregon. And I am unapologetically strong. As a personal safety consultant and traveling and speaking, I tell a lot of the individuals that I work with that, could you imagine having to explain your worth to a group of people? Explain your value to a group of people? Explain why it is that you deserve to live and why your people deserve to be here. I mean, we're talking about the first people who inhabited this land, the original people, the original caretakers of this land, and we're trying to explain to other individuals who are in positions of power that should be doing that for us. And I think that's what makes this work really difficult, is feeling like every single space I go into is what I'm trying to do is explain to these law enforcement officers, I'm trying to explain to politicians or government agencies of why it is that my family members shouldn't have to die for them to bring attention to these sort of issues. And I say this because when we get into this work, it's because we've lost a loved one. Someone we know, a family member, a friend, has been killed for essentially no reason at all. And there's no answers most of the time. There's no resolution, and there's no almost end in sight for a lot of us. That's why a lot of the history within this movement, people don't talk about it anymore, especially from the generation that comes before me, because they're just tired of speaking on deaf ears. They're tired of telling the same story over and over without any sort of movement. So that's kind of where the start within this work happened for me. It kind of really sparked the Wisawca Project, which is the safety consulting organization that I started on my own. So when people hear that I'm a professional fighter or that I have experience with mixed martial arts, they immediately will ask for self-defense training. And I am not opposed to people training. I just really advocate for consistent training. But I think one of the biggest misconceptions that people have when it comes to this movement is they think that it's on the individual. They should have known how to protect themselves. They should have known how to take care of themselves. And if they knew how to fight, or if they knew how to get away from that person that was trying to take them or trying to kill them or trying to hurt them, maybe then they would still be here. And that's just not really the case. It's really hard to fall on the victim blaming, victim shaming idea with a lot of these cases. So I think we're kind of coming up to this new movement of individuals, especially within Indian country, saying, you know what, the people that are in the positions to take care of us, to protect us, and to listen to us when we need help, if they're not going to do it, we're going to do it for ourselves. And now we're advocating for ourselves, and now we're taking the steps in order to take care of ourselves and to ensure that we make it back home every single day. And that's my ultimate hope with the Wisawca Project and creating that, was just that other people will feel safer and that they're more capable and stronger in being able to take care of themselves, but also have the tools available to them if a loved one does go missing, and they have the information that they need for law enforcement when they ask the really difficult questions. There are days that get really difficult because it does get really daunting every single day, thinking like, today I gotta wake up with like purpose and intention and trying to show people that we're valuable and that we're enough and that we're strong and we're still here and we're important. It gets really difficult, and I had one of these mornings where I just was like, I'm just not with it today. I don't want to do this. I just want to have a quote unquote normal or average life like everybody else. I just want to go clock in, get my work done, get paid, maybe take a vacation with my kids, but that's not what my journey looks like. So I think that when I wake up every day and thinking of my heart work, I'm hoping that at the end of every day I'm able to say that I took a lot of the teachings from my elders and those before me and what they've worked so hard to provide for me and my generation, that I can pick that up and take it with me, carry it for a little bit, do what I can with it, but essentially leave something for my boys to be wanting to work on as well. I think that's what a lot of what Indian country is built on, is this generational wealth of knowledge. It's being able to essentially ensure our survival as a people. And I think that's ultimately what I'm coming up with this advocacy work is. It's not so much about these missing and murdered individuals, even though those stories are very important and we need to tell those. It's about the overall big picture of it, of ensuring the survival of the next generation and helping them understand what it's going to look like for them and what it is that we need for them to do to ensure that they can teach their children and the generation after them and the one after them. So I think that's what my heart work is starting to look like now.